So I've been thinking, I've played a lot of games, and why not create a catalog of what my top 10 favorite games are? Here's my pick for the top 10 games throughout the list of games I have devoured. My top 10th pick is very old and is the most amazing game I've ever played. It's called The Web of Shadows. Spider-Man Web of Shadows. The game really has all the fucking mechanics. It is supposed to be a Spider-Man game, and it is like the best Spider-Man game they ever made till that date was this game. And the web swings in that game are very accurate, to the point, and I could say the story mode and the gameplay with allies we make along, that might be the most comically accurate Spider-Man game I've ever played till date. I'm not even kidding. I didn't play Spider-Man 2, so no spoilers, but like, yeah. Spider-Man 1 Web of Shadows is like the most comical accurate game I've ever played. Next comes the Venom suit is also really fucking amazing in the game. Like, you get the Venom suit second half of the game, the later half, but yeah, the suit as well is really fucking good. Not gonna lie, that's the best suit I've ever seen Spider-Man in, and Spider-Man 2 also shines because this web suit is really fucking good. And also the battles are really tailor made for all the villains themselves. Venom has his own style of fight. We fight Wolverine, spoilers, and that fight is also tailor made to Wolverine. That was what was good about the game.
Is she okay?
The top ninth pick of mine is going to be Minecraft. Minecraft is the most amazing, yet the most versatile game I've ever played. I mean, the game has everything. It's an open, endless world, and the creative explorations are unlimited. The amount of castles, the amount of monuments we are going to see throughout the game is mind-boggling. And the next thing is the amount of cattle or the different types of animals we see throughout the game is also one of the major factors that the game became a huge hit and the most selling out of all the other games. The goal is to defeat the Ender Dragon. But while defeating the Ender Dragon, we also kind of go through this whole swift of adventure. That is what makes the game really amazing. Number 8. This game is very close to my heart because I've been playing this since childhood, and this game is truly what got one of my passion into my heart. The guns. Call of Duty. I'm going to talk about Call of Duty because Call of Duty has various types of guns, and all these guns tell a specific story in each of the games. Let's talk about World War II. World War II talks about all the unique old weapons they had, the Tommy guns, the revolvers, and also the 2-point shotguns. That really is what makes Call of Duty unique. The expansive, exhaustive amount of weapons they have throughout the game is what makes Call of Duty one of my favorite games and the most favored during my childhood. And the story mode is goated. Not gonna lie, my favorite game of all time in Call of Duty is Ghost. It's underrated and the game didn't get good recognition, but I would say that is the best game I've ever played in Call of Duty. The characters in Ghost are really amazing. I've connected with every one of them. Being such a good story maker, I'm sad the game flopped, but anyways, moving on to the next one. It's going to be Assassin's Creed. Moreover, the Ezio Auditore storyline. I'm going to talk about Black Flag as well, but this thing is really what is amazing about Assassin's Creed. Before it lost its touch in the recent years, Assassin's Creed used to be the one game I really love because it used to be the battle of swords and guns really beautifully. These Ezio Auditore storylines also tell a more defining storyline of Rome and Italy, which I really liked. I enjoyed the characters and the sculptures around them, the beautiful lifestyle, and also the monuments they've been in. And what I really wanted to experience myself was, as a kid, I always wanted to go to Rome and Italy just because I played Assassin's Creed and the locations were so beautiful. I just wanted to see it with my own eyes. The gameplay is also what defines Ezio Auditore as he grows up from being a teenage to a really good adult in the whole Assassin's Creed storyline. Goes from Assassin's Creed 2 to Revelations, where he becomes an old man and learns a lot of things from Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci also is a huge part of the game because he gives all the equipments and the instruments to Ezio. Number 6, GTA. GTA has the style of characters with the story that really talks about how human emotions go by. I mean, the characters are really the intricate part of the whole game. Like, the story is based around them. The story isn't based around the story, but over them. I don't know if you get it, but yeah. Well, the missions as well are really tailor-made for the American mass, I would say. And I like that the game really defines who the character is. Let's say CJ, Tommy, Nico Bellic, and also Trevor Phillips, Michael, and also Franklin. All these guys have their own way of telling a story. Trevor is psychotic. Michael is a lonely little bitch, not gonna lie. Franklin is a lone wolf. And also CJ is a badass in San Andreas. Tommy also is again a badass, but Vice City kind of gives out a whole new vibe to GTA games. The missions of each one of them have their own meanings and their own style. The immersiveness of such missions is so great, you kind of get lost in time. You know, it's always a game that you can fall back when it's a rainy day and you have no other game to play. It's like you can just go on, create a rampage. That's what you like. That is what I like the most. It's not the missions, or let's say the main part of the game is enjoying the open free space in that open world game. Number 5, I'm going to talk about God of War series. It has been the most long running series for me because I went from being a kid of 10 years to being 20 years and played this game multiple times. Chains of Olympus, Ghost of Sparta, 3, 2, 1, Ascension, and also the new God of War 4 and Ragnarok. All these games have very delicately designed storyline. They're very close to what good is, what wrong is, what is right. Because Zeus plays with human emotions a lot too much in the Greek mythology of the storyline, and that's what kind of creates the God of War, Kratos. This has been one of my favorite games because it kind of designs how gods of Greek mythology aren't that different from humans, because they also have human emotions and they act upon it. And that's what is majorly the differentiating factor for what I liked while playing God of War. Coming on to the top 4, my 4th pick is, of course, Last of Us. There's no denying the fact that Last of Us 1 had an imparting feeling on me because my first console I ever bought was PS3, and that was the first game I ever played on my PS3. The game has the greatest storylines, the most beautiful relationship between a lost girl and a father-like figure called as Joel, obviously. And Ellie and Joel's relationship is the most comedic yet the most emotional I've ever had, because they are like inseparable. They're made for each other, and they coming together is what makes Last of Us 1 and 2 really amazing. Last of Us 2 as well tells a storyline that really intricately tells what Ellie likes. Ellie really loves Joel to the point where she goes to an extreme extent in part 2 That's what makes Last of Us one of my favorite games and top 4 pick, because these two games are really close to my heart. Coming from top 3, the third favorite is obviously Black Flag. Black Flag has always been close to my heart because it really tells the story of the pirate that has really worked his way out and became the assassin he needed to be. This assassin, Edward, is the most adventurous assassin out of all of them, right after Ezio Auditore, which kind of tells a whole storyline about pirating a ship, as well being an assassin and having many friends who help us throughout the journey. This game is the kind of game I hated at first to play because there is a lot of ship battles and I didn't like ship battles a lot. Because as I aged through my life, I kind of realized this game has a lot more than ships, and it's a lot more of mythical storytelling, which kind of describes how Assassin's Creed is and was originally. This storytelling is what kind of brought me back to my roots of playing Ezio Auditore storylines, as well as Assassin's Creed's games are really one of the best out of all of them. They tell a whole different genre of storyline, which kind of gives a whole vibe and also a whole set of character to what Black Flag is. My number 2 is obviously Prince of Persia. I've grown up playing this game and the story is mind-boggling. I mean, that is still one of the best storylines I've ever played. Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and Two Thrones. There's not much to talk about because the game has to be experienced. But the fights in those games are what really got me into gaming originally. These games have what made me a gamer today, because these games tell a whole defining storyline which talks about the Persian life and also all of what the hero goes through. This is the best game and the best storyline I've ever played, coming out of like all of the trilogy gameplays. This is the best. There's a lot to talk about, but I would say the majority of what I like is Warrior Within's amazing, different and unique storyline ahead of its time curve, where there's this villain called Daka and he chases us through space and time, where he kind of defines what Sands of Time does to us. This kind of storyline and the gameplay is what I like the most about Prince of Persia, and Persian hero, us being the Prince of the Persia, is also the most iconic thing as we try to save our kingdom from the evil. And my number 1 pick is obviously Elden Ring, and I'm currently playing it and the gameplay is going to be out soon. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the storyline of this game, and it is amazing. I just have no words, because the story is not there much, but the demigods and the gods throughout the game kind of make a whole storyline themselves. It's a whole conglomerate of different bosses and different arenas of the game where we meet really tough obstacles and tough bosses throughout the game. It's a bunch of demigods and gods trying to claim a part of what's called a Elden Ring. The ring breaks into shards when Queen Miquella decides to die and kind of break it into different shards and give each piece to each one of them or to their sons or daughters. This bunch of shards they contain have them to be defeated and take and make us the Elden Lord. Whole process of this is what I enjoyed the most. The whole process of going around defeating bosses and also exploring the whole open world of the map while doing all the side missions, which also contain an Easter egg in the end where we can choose our own endings out of all the 6 endings is what I like the most and the best among all of them. And that concludes my list for top 10 of my favorite games throughout my life as I played them. Hope you guys enjoyed the list and keep watching. Like, share and subscribe. Wilf out.